It's crazy that water types have this amazing Pokemon in Frosmoth at their disposal, but water isn't the dominant type right now. And unfortunately, that isn't changing with Galarian Darmanitan VMAX. With Max Whiteout, it does 200 damage for 4 water energy while also sniping 30 to each of your opponent's bench Pokemon. One of the reasons why this has a chance of being good is Telescopic Sight, a brand new tool card that says the attacks of the Pokemon this card is attached to do 30 more damage to your opponent's bench Pokemon V and bench Pokemon GX. With Crobat V and Dedenne-GX pretty much being in every deck, you can guarantee that you're going to hit at least a couple Pokemon for that extra damage. And I mean, if you're facing a single prize deck, they're going to have low HP anyway, so you really do want to add that damage up on the V and GX, so it's just a great tool card. The downside to Galarian Darmanitan VMAX obviously is that metal weakness. Zacian V, ADP Zacian is an amazing deck already, and if it hits this thing for weakness, they just need to knock out a Galarian Darmanitan VMAX and a Frosmoth for game, and that is just insane, so it's really not going to be a tier 1 deck. That being said, I was all prepared to do a full 4-4 line Galarian Darmanitan VMAX deck. Then the night before that I'm filming this thing made 2nd place at a tournament, and it faced off against a control deck in the finals, so something crazy happened there. This deck plays 4 different stage 1s. It plays the Barraskewda with targeted skewer, 20 damage to one of your opponent's bench Pokemon for each damage counter, Galarian Darmanitan VMAX, Inteleon VMAX, and the reason it played the split is this is weak to lightning, Galarian Darmanitan's weak to metal, so you can split the weaknesses, and that's good, and then of course Frosmoth, which is just amazing, and then it plays a whole bunch of different cards. I did change the list a little bit. I added the 2 SWSHEnergy. This one, prevent all effects of attacks from your opponent's Pokemon down to the water Pokemon this card is attached to, so that's just really good. I wanted to put it in there. It doesn't work quite as well with Training Court, but I wanted to show it off. Spread has always been my favorite archetype in the Pokemon TCG, so playing a spread deck like this has me excited, but I know that spread isn't in the best place just because Pokemon have such high hit points. But with Max Whiteout, with Max Bullet, I can do some meaningful damage to the bench. I can finish things off with Barraskewda, and what I realized is that if you start Inteleon against a Zacian deck and you start Darmanitan against a Pikarom deck, then you have a good chance of winning. If you can not get hurt by your weaknesses and you can use that to your advantage, the deck is actually pretty good. It's when you start Darmanitan against a Zacian deck or Inteleon against a Pikarom deck and you have to use them that things get a little hairy, so let's see what happens. And they chose to go first. That is unfortunate because, oh dear. You want to go first 100% of the time with this deck. You play 4 different stage 1s. You know, I would say that 2 different stage 1s is too much, unless you're playing a single prize deck, because that's okay, good. So I will never want this VMAX. I never want Galarian Darmanitan to see the field. So this is why you play the split, is that Inteleon VMAX is weak to lightning, Darmanitan's weak to metal. So you just sort of play off the weaknesses, and this is perfect. And they play the Aegislash, so this is, I was going to say this is ADP. No, this is Lucario Melmetal. It could be a little difficult because the metal goggles, the deck doesn't play Tool Scrapper, so this is a bit of a tough matchup. But when they whiff all their energy, that's really good. Okay, so I will do that. I will do Quick Ball. I will get a Snom. So the Galarian Zigzagoon, I mean, if I want to use Galarian Zigzagoon at all in this game, I need to use it pretty much right now. Because once they get the metal goggles on there, it's going to be useless. So there's the Zigzagoon. It's just, do I want that 1 prize liability? And I think I kind of do. So I will Zigzagoon. Sure, let's just put some damage on, I guess, the Lucario Melmetal. I know they play Mallow and Lana, so spreading things out would be a good idea. And I'll just get a Inteleon VMAX, sure. The deck plays, I think, a very low count of Switch, so that's something I have to be aware of, but there's Bird Keeper, there's Frosmoth, so I have a very good hand. I think I will Snipe Shot. Let's Snipe Shot the active, because you want to spread around the damage. It's a spread deck, you want to spread around the damage because with the deck that I'm facing, unfortunately, they play Mallow and Lana. So healing decks, you don't want to see healing decks when you're a spread deck. But maybe I Marnied them into nothing. They're going to Marnie me back. This was an amazing hand. This is why Marnie sucks. You know, I Marnie them out of probably a really great hand. They Marnie me out of a perfect hand. And actually, this is even better. Because I can Telescopic Sight the Inteleon. I can switch into the Snom. And there's Lily's Pokédoll. That's not gonna do very well in this game. And then I can research away the Darmanitan. So, I mean, if I can top deck... Oh, they're just going to Intrepid Sword then. Yep, just an Intrepid Sword. Let's see if they get anything. Hopefully not. Perfect. So they are energy dry this game. That is amazing. There's a wash energy, so they can't use Full Metal Wall. That is just perfect. This is why I put the wash energy in the deck. Full Metal Wall. Hang on, let's see. So, wash energy, prevent all effects of attacks. Full Metal Wall is solely in effect, so they will not be able to discard my energy. And that is good. So I have Training Court. I don't know if I want to give them Training Court, though. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. I don't know. But I have the VMAX. I don't have my dude. I can't put the Darmanitan V into play. So I think put the Arrokuda down. I think I put the Training Court down just to put it down. Scoop Up Net. I think I put the Scoop Up Net down to do that. Do I put it back down? I don't know how many Scoop Up Net I play. I completely forget. I don't think the original list played Scoop Up Net. So I will just put one into my hand. You know what? I want to go for it. So let's go for it. Put the Crobat down. I got it. Amazing. Okay, so I will snipe somebody. There's a Frosmoth. So the good news is they can't get rid of my energy unless they play the Crushing Hammer build, then that's going to be unfortunate. But the wash energy is sticking. That's really good. And I will max bullet. I guess that makes the most sense. You know, obviously I would have preferred to not put damage on a freaking Lily's Pokédoll, but you know, that's how it is sometimes. And if they can't bump the wash energy and they go for a Full Metal Wall, this will be absolutely hilarious and it might be an instant concede. But you're just seeing, you know, I can't remember, I can't check right now, unfortunately, but whoever came up with this deck, I mean, they're very smart. Like, it's pretty obvious. They decided, hey, Galarian Darmanitan VMAX is pretty good, but it has a horrible weakness. Inteleon VMAX is also pretty good, but it has that Pikarom weakness. What if I put them together in a deck? Oh, that's not good. Actually, no, that's fine. I kept thinking it was Shield Energy from Expanded. No, that's fine. They just don't have a fire weakness now. That's totally okay. Please tell me you go for the Full Metal Wall. I'd be so happy if you went for it, and it doesn't work. Okay, so I'm going to need to be careful there. They're probably just going to Mallow and Lana into the Pokédoll, so they'll completely heal off the Lucario Melmetal. No! And there you go. There it is right there. So I guess I just hit into... because I'm not knocking it out, so I think I should bosses the Zacian. And then max bullet, because they don't play a Mew or anything. I think just spreading things around is the way I want to do this. And yeah, they both have 140, so it wouldn't even have been close to a knockout. I have to play around their Mallow and Lana. That's going to be the big issue here is Mallow and Lana. But they don't have an attack. They will have to Mallow and Lana into the Pokédoll or Mallow and Lana into the Lucario Memetalization. I'm forcing them to use a Mallow and Lana to switch out of the active. And of course they just had a switch in their hand anyway, so that didn't mean anything. But if they're not careful, I can do some things. You know, I don't need the Darmanitan V. I do need another Inteleon as a backup. But what I can do is, unfortunately, I have to get rid of Denny. The deck does not play Ordinary Rod, so you have to be careful with your resources. And, okay, so they're just going to put 50 damage on me? So that's totally fine. And the Barraskewda is going to be huge in this matchup, and that's an interesting choice, unless they're still going to go for the Mallow and Lana play. But I think they grabbed Cynthia and Caitlyn as well with the tag call, so They should be using Cynthia and Caitlin. Oh, they're going for Mallow and Lana. Okay, so they're putting 50 damage on me. Barraskewda. Unfortunately, Barraskewda means nothing right now because I would do 40 damage minus 60, so it would be 0 damage. But I will definitely research. And they used Intrepid Sword. So aren't I taking a knockout, though? No. No, it won't be quite a knockout, unfortunately. Okay, so there's Marnie. What's my Marnie count? Down 1? Okay, well, who cares? I'm going to have 18 cards left in my deck. That's fine. And let's go get... Well, I guess I should get the Evolution Incense and just go for Barraskewda. I do have Inteleon V, so I need a bench spot to open up, and I do have a Scoop Up Net, so they're not taking a knockout. They're going to have to pick off my bench at some point. I guess I should hold on to the energy, but... I mean, let's just do that. I could Hydro Snipe them and put them in a tough position, but I think I just want to max bullet. Okay, so that will get knocked out next turn. And there's the Cynthia and Caitlin, so they're just going to recycle for that Mallow and Lana. And what I have to be aware of is the Zamazenta. I assume they prized Zamazenta or something? It's tough to say, because you'd think they would have quick-balled for Zamazenta. There's Pokedol, that's unfortunate, but I can just use Targeted Skewer to knock out the Lucario Metal. Chaotic Swell means I'm never going to be able to use Training Court, so that's unfortunate, but the deck plays 10 energy, I have 4 on the field, I should be okay. And yeah, if they retreat or anything into that Lily's Pokedol, I'm totally fine. But yeah, if they... Okay, so I'm taking 3 prizes, that's not ideal. I mean, I'd prefer to do some better spreading here. Okay, so there's Telescopic Sight. I can get rid of the Training Court in my hand, but this game might go a while, and I might need the card so I don't deck out. Do I Bird Keeper or do I Marnie? Because if I Marnie, I might be able to get Scoop Up Net Inteleon. Sure, and I think I should hit the Zacian without the Metal Goggles, so sure, let's Marnie. Put them to 4, because I know they have a Mallow and Lana in their hand, so I get them out of that Mallow and Lana. This would have been perfect if one of these quick balls was just a Scoop Up Net. Okay, so max bullet, hit that one, take my 3 prizes, and I will have to go through 2 Pokemon to win the game, so that's going to be a bit tough. And I don't have my Scoop Up Net. So hopefully they Marnie me or something, because I need to clear that bench space. I got a little greedy with the Zigzagoon. That was my fault. And what's my boss's count? I've only used 1. My supporter count is low. I don't have another draw Pokemon. My 2 Crobat are down, and my Dedenne's in the discard. So at this point, it's just I got to get this Inteleon on the field because they're going to put some big damage on my VMAX. And I don't want to Hydro Snipe. Hydro Snipe doesn't do me any good. I just have to hit into it, hope they can't find their Mallow and Lana, hope that I find my Scoop Up Net, and then just hope they can't use their bosses in a timely fashion. You know, this is the tough part about facing my opponent's deck, is that games go on a while and you have to be able to do math. Okay, so I don't need to do that. I have Targeted Skewer if I need it. They have to have a way to retreat, which they don't currently have. So just sort of sitting and waiting and hoping that they can't, do anything. But could you imagine how bad of a position I'd be in if it wasn't for Wash Energy? The original build of this deck did not play Wash Energy. And I think this is just a highly underrated card. Prevent all effective attacks from your opponent's Pokemon done to the Pokemon this card is attached to. Obviously, damage is not an effect. And they had it all along. Okay. But Wash Energy, huge. If you're playing a water deck and you're not playing Wash Energy, I mean, why aren't you playing Wash Energy? It is so good. It stops, I don't know, would it stop Targeted Skewer? Because it's not damage. Jet Headbutt, it would not stop. Targeted Skewer, that's an effect. This is an effect of the attack? I don't know. There's so many rulings, but let's take Crobat V, for example. I wouldn't be poisoned. That's essentially what it is. If they used Venomous Fang on me and I have Wash Energy, they do 70 damage, but I wouldn't be poisoned. Think of how huge that is. And there's the Scoop Up Net. Awesome. Oh man, this is great. Okay, so there's Zigzagoon. We got that there. SWSHEnergy there. We got the Frosmoth. Okay, so I'm going to ditch the Darmanitan V. I do have a Dedenne. It plays a 2/2. That's awesome. Okay, so I will do that. I don't want to thin anything else, but that's fine. Max bullet. I mean, I can't do anything else. I could retreat and do like negligible damage there. Yeah, let's do a max bullet. And I guess their thought process was, I'm going to have to go through Ization. I don't know. This is tough. You know, the Darmanitan does more damage than Inteleon. It does 200, but it costs an extra energy. Inteleon only snipes one Pokemon, and there's Zamazenta. So that is worrying, but you know, they're going to knock me out. I have a special energy. Oh no, see, it would stop Assault Tackle's secondary effect. Assault Tackle will discard a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. SWSHEnergy would stop that, so I think they cancel each other out, is what I assume. But we'll find out. And there's the bosses. Don't hit my Barraskewda. Well, they're going after why would they go after Frosmoth? That makes literally 0 sense. That does not help your math at all. Okay, well I don't have a VMAX currently in my hand. And there's Bird Keeper, so I mean I could put an extra damage counter on the Zamazenta while I still have the option, because the more damage I put on it, the better, because I would do 60, 90, minus 30, 70, 140, 210. So I would still need to hit it again anyway. Yeah, sure, let's just put a Snom down. They can't Brave Blade again. Yeah, that's fine. Oh yeah, I forgot. So the spread won't even happen, but I have targeted Skewer. They should have knocked this out. They better have a Mallow and Lana or something. I gotta research. So I'm in a good position here. Maybe I should have dug for my boss's orders. I totally spaced on the fact that, you know, Max Bullet wouldn't hit the Zamazenta. I totally spaced on that. But actually, no, maybe going after the Frosmoth. Going after the Frosmoth was a good idea if the game lasts enough turns, because then it puts them at 5. They're going to knock out the VMAX, and then they can just knock out a Crobat for game. The problem is that they didn't have a way to heal this Zacian, and I can just target its Skewer and win. So taking out the Frosmoth was not the worst idea, but I think Barraskewda might be the biggest threat on my side of the field. So I think going after Frosmoth was a mistake. And does it affect SWSHEnergy? No, okay, so it does cancel it out. And I think that is game with Barraskewda. And you're seeing why it's the 4th stage 1, but it makes sense that it's in the deck. So let's find out if this actually works. I won't even try anything, and boom, 260 on just a stage 1 energy attacker. That's awesome. So yeah, it beat Lucario Melmetalization, which got a Zamazenta into play, and yeah, I'm very impressed with the deck. But this isn't going to be sustainable. You know, it's easy to get around. You just have to heal properly. You know, if decks start playing Hyper Potion or more Mallow and Lana, or if you just happen to start the wrong V, and if you just have a really bad first turn, there's so many things that can go wrong. What you saw in this first game was everything going right. And when it goes right, it is pretty dangerous. When it goes wrong, you're going to be like, why is this a thing? So let's go to game 2 and hope that it just keeps winning. And I won the coin flip this time, so of course I'm going first. And there's a Snowman and Arrokuda, so this is a horrible starting hand. And I will unfortunately have to put up the Arrokuda. And I don't really have much else going on, so maybe I can top deck something good. There's something not good. Yeah, putting water on the field doesn't do anything. Maybe they'll Marnie me. If not, this will be a pretty short game and I'll just go to the next one. And you'll never even see this. So it's just sort of a wait and see approach. And right off the bat, it's a Marnie. So if they Marnie me into something good, I'm going to continue. If they Marnie me into something bad, I'll just concede. because no one wants to watch, this deck flounder. And there's a Crobat, there's Darmanitan. Okay, so not amazing, but I can thin the hand down a little bit. I guess I would attach to the Arrokuda just because this is ADP, so it is going to take that turn to set up. And they'll go for probably Dedenne. So, I mean, they will fill up their bench. I will have Darmanitan VMAX. The negative side is that, they have to have a bad turn. They cannot use Alter Creation this turn, or else I will just lose. And perfect. I'm still probably going to lose, but at least I have a chance now. At least it's not a completely boring game that is an unfortunate top deck, because I would really like to have that about 2 seconds from now. And okay, so I will do that. I think I want the Darmanitan just because I kind of have to, I gotta go fast, I gotta be like Sonic, gotta go fast. And Telescopic Sight, I'm Marning them. Maybe they'll just not get anything. Rain Splash, believe it or not, will actually maybe help me out in the long run. I don't know. And do I want to rearrange my deck? That's the thing. I didn't have the most amazing hand in the world, and if they Marnie me, I think I'll just Rain Splash. I don't think there's anything I need with Great Ball right now. Like, I have Frosmoth. I just need Galarian Darmanitan VMAX. If they Marnie me, I don't know. We'll find out. Maybe that 20 damage will come into play at the very end of the game, and I Marnie them into... Oh, they're going to Marnie me back. Okay. That's the Pokemon trading card game in 2020. You Marnie me, I Marnie you. And please tell me they whiffed a water energy. And this is awesome, because Darmanitan needs 4 freaking energy. Oh, please don't tell me they get more energy. Good. So I'm in a great position. That's not quite what I wanted. So I think I will go for an Inteleon, because I want them to have to go through 2 VMAXs, but I don't want them to have the weakness advantage. The downside is that I will have to give them Training Court at some point to get back some of my energy, and I don't want them to have Training Court. So let's go get Inteleon. That's perfect. So that's the one downside with Training Court, is that your opponent can use it too, and I don't want them to use it. Perfect. Got the energy, got everything. The only thing I didn't get was a way to retreat the Arrokuda without losing the energy, but that's fine. And I'm actually taking a knockout. So Rain Splash actually did its job, which is hilarious. Do I go for the Barraskewda right now? Sure. I don't have it. Okay, so I don't need another Galarian Darmanitan VMAX. I do need another Snom, though. So there you go. So I'll go get the Snom, just so I can have it. I already have the VMAX. I already have the Inteleon in my hand. Barraskewda is prize, so this is just... If for some reason they target my Frosmoth, this is my backup, but... If they target my Frosmoth, they're not targeting Galarian Darmanitan, so it would get another attack, but... There's Barraskewda. Great card. It combos so well with Telescopic Sight, so they need to get Metal Saucer Attach Retreat. They do that, they take a knockout, but then I can knock them out if I get just the right cards. So this could be really close. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. If they can't find a switch, I guarantee that I win, and okay. Well, the good news is they abandoned the Alter Creation strategy. The better news is that they didn't Marnie me. So I can knock out the Zacian V, and then it's a case of, well, what do you got? Okay, that's not good. That is actually horrible. So, what do I do now? Energy, what, are you just going to put it from the ADP to the Zamazenta? Yeah, that's fine. Okay, so... This is tough. They're just going to come up with that guy. So I do need to take the knockout. I think I go up with Crobat. Okay, this is tough because the deck only plays 10 energy, and... Okay, here we go. This could get real sketchy real soon. That Tool Scrapper was huge for them. If I go up with Arrokuda... 120. I can take a knockout. So maybe worst case scenario, I use Barraskewda. So I think, yeah, that's worst case scenario is I just attack with Barraskewda. It's 120. Yeah, I think I just preemptively attach to it. Is that the safe move? I don't know, because if I get an Air Balloon or a Switch, then I want the energy here. But, you know, the odds of me getting a Training Court are quite high. And they don't have a swell down, so I think I just attach the energy here with Frosmoth, and I go for a research, and I say, you know, the reason I'm using research instead of Marnie is because it is better for me to draw more cards than it is to limit them. Because if I can get this knockout, they are limited. And that is horrible. Okay. Sure, let's Great Ball, see if I can thin there. The Dedenne. Actually, I will take the Inteleon VMAX just so I can get rid of it. And there's the switch. That is the exact reverse order that I want this to happen in. So now I'll get Dedenne. So I need a Training Court, and I need some energy, and I need an Air Balloon. Oh, this is going to get real weird. Okay. So yeah, I'm really glad I didn't Marnie, because that would have been just a game-losing scenario. Give me something I can use. There's Capacious Bucket. Okay, so that's exactly what I need. Now, do I use Scoop Up Net or do I just attach the Air Balloon? Okay, so here's what we do. We do that. I Ice Dance. So I think knocking out the Zacian makes more sense than knocking out the Dedenne. And the Evolution Incense, I'll just get rid of that because I got nothing to get. Scoop Up Net could be big. Max Bullet, and if I put the damage, I mean, that's already within range of Barraskewda. And that's not. But I don't think there's anything they can do to... you know what? I'm going to play it safe. And I think hit the Crobat, because that'll be 90. No, I'm gonna hit the Dedenne. I think hitting the Dedenne is the safe bet, because this is ADP. They don't play any way to heal. Oh, if I would have just gotten... Oh, man. If I would have just gotten a Scoop Up Net, I would have had enough to knock out the Dedenne. So Zigzagoon, the math does matter. Believe it or not. But they cannot win this turn, and I can win next turn. So this is huge. And then I'll give them the well play. But yeah, this is pretty crazy. You just saw me beat two of the absolute best decks in the format. And I would have won last turn if I would have just gotten a Scoop Up Net in that hand with all the craziness. And are they just going to try and stall? Okay, well I can just scoop it back up and take a big old knockout. So my opinion of this deck has definitely increased. It's like when rotation happened and Inteleon just came out of nowhere. And this is like that happening all over again, except it's even better. So I'm just going to stop the video here, just in case something goes really wrong. I'm very impressed with this deck. I will leave a link to the actual deck in the description because this is not my original creation. Yes, I made some changes. I think SWSHEnergy is huge. I think the original list had a 3-2 Inteleon V VMAX and then a 2-1 Darmanitan, so I just evened that out. I think it had one Telescopic Sight. I think that might have been the next deck I'm doing, but I added 2 SWSHEnergy by removing 2 basic water. So I think SWSHEnergy has to be in the deck. I think Scoop Up Net is not 100% necessary, and you want to have the 3 Snom just so you can increase your chances of getting a Snom turn 1. But as you saw, when this deck works, it is so good. But if you just have a really slow start, if my opponent had not Marnied me on that first turn, I would have just lost because I had nothing going on. But I really like how they utilize both Inteleon and Galarian Darmanitan, because they both spread, they both have different weaknesses. It just works so well together. It would be nice if this had 4 retreat costs so you can use buff padding, but I digress. This deck is really good. Try it out. I'll leave the list and the link in the description. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.